The views expressed on this Turnbuckle Tabloid live stream or Turnbuckle Tabloid podcast episode do not reflect the views, thoughts, or opinions of the Rageworks brand, including the Rageworks podcast network, Rageworks content partners, advertisers, and affiliates. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
It's your boy Jada Red Santee, your host of Turnbuckle Tabloid, here to say thank you to you, the listener, for being a part of the 7 years of wrestling, babble, and all things ridiculous here at Turnbuckle Tabloid. The podcast has been here doing it big for so many years, and we appreciate every person who's subscribed and listened to the podcast each and every year. But I got something else for you guys. Yeah, we've been doing it up different this time of year. Starting to expand our wings a little bit more. We're hitting up the YouTubes, hitting up the Twitch, hitting up the TikToks. Yeah, boy, hitting up the IGs as well. We're doing live streams there, and I want you guys to be a part of it as well. It's going to be exclusive content there. So what you don't get on the podcast, you'll get on the live streams. So it'll be great if you guys like, subscribe, begin following all those social media websites for Turnbuckle Tabloid, and believe me, you will not miss a thing. Catch us there.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
What you doing tonight, oh my? Can't seem to get you off my mind, 'cause I'm so into you. So what you wanna do? What you doing tonight, oh my? Can't seem to get you off my mind, 'cause I'm so into you. So what you wanna do? Life alert, baby, for you I fall in 24/7 on my mind, you keep running. You got a nigga high as if I were rolling. Girl, you be knowing how you get me going crazy. Sex with you is amazing. Jiffy, while I'm just saying, your body I be craving. Let me know, girl, stop playing. What you doing tonight, oh my? Can't seem to get you off my mind, 'cause I'm so into you. So what you wanna do? What you doing tonight, oh my? Seem to get you off my mind, 'cause I'm so into you. So what you wanna do?
So what's the deal, pretty mommy? What's the 411? I wanna be body to body, getting all that Forgive me for being honest, you can see that I'm stunned, but your head's in nail polish like a steak well done. I can tell you a blessing, heaven's been where you from, and you like the way I'm spitting, I can feel this tongue. Plus I know you wanna feel like a trophy I won. You looking like a whole meal, making me want some.
And what you doing tonight, oh my? Can't seem to get you off my mind, 'cause I'm so into you. So what you wanna do? What you doing tonight, oh my? Can't seem to get you off my mind, 'cause I'm so into you. So what you wanna do? I wanna touch your body, I want you close to me. I want you to be about it. I wanna be all you need. Because I'm so into you, girl. I'm so into you. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
This is Little Bit, and you're listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid. Fuck Jay Santee.
Give me that fucking mic! Turnbuckle Tabloid, cutting a promo. Cutting a promo this week is going to be in twofold. We're doing two reviews for this segment. The first one is going to be House of Glory. Mike Santana presents Puerto Rican Weekend. And the second, of course, we're going to be looking into the NXT Battleground. Two different sides of the same coin. But I wanted to do a review for the House of Glory show because this one felt a little different for me. I say that because, all right, as many of you guys know, I'm a New York Rican, I'm Puerto Rican. My grandparents are originally from the island. My uncle was from the island directly. My mom is from here and so forth. So we are, second generation, third generation Puerto Ricans from the island. And honestly, I've never been one of those who has to be, I wear Puerto Rico on my body. You got to see it. It's, palo sepa. Like, I've never been really that kind of guy. When Puerto Rican Day parade, the weekend comes around, I'm like, hey, it's a day. I'm Puerto Rican every day, but I don't wear it, and I don't go around bragging. It's a funny thing because the Will and I, we have a running joke where anytime we know that, I know that somebody's Puerto Rican, I tell them, I said, they're Puerto Rican, right? So apparently, the Will, who's Dominican, he's always telling me, he says, you Puerto Ricans love to acknowledge and showcase who's Puerto Rican. You got to let everybody know that they're Puerto Rican. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. That is true. We do that. Karrion Kross is Puerto Rican, right? Daniel Garcia, he's Puerto Rican, right? Eddie Kingston, yeah, he's Puerto Rican. So in this sense, knowing what the theme was and such, I go in and I even kicked some ideas or just goofed around with the boss himself, Brian XL, about make sure you got a bunch of flags out there, bro. Make sure you're playing all that good old fashioned Spanish salsa. Get the Hector Lavoe going and on. And sure enough, walking into the building, that's exactly what was happening. They went 100% all out. Puerto Rican, Boricua, everything. Like, the only thing that I probably would have missed was that they should have probably served coquito or the medalla beer and such, but you pretty much covered every other base. So I go into this, and mind you, this is one of the events that the full regulars team wasn't there. It just so happens that everybody had something scheduled that day. And seriously, like, usually this would have been the event where the Will, brother AJ, Homemilk Mike, we all would have pulled into the building, and like, I could have seen their eyes roll like, Jesus, are you serious? But on today's, for today's event, I rolled up Dolo. My godson, Sean Shinobi, pulled up later on afterwards, and I ran into two old friends who pulled up to the show. As a friend of the show, former co-host, pulled up. Kicking It with the Keith pulled up, and brother Keyshawn pulled up as well. It was good to see them there, and it was an event. Like, I don't know, I kind of started feeling, I got a little emotional with it. There was something to it. The crowd was so backed into it. The start time was great. It started at 5 p.m. so that if you wanted to go afterwards to go hang out and chill, it was perfectly, because that's exactly what we did anyway. And we went and got a sense of shit. Like, we come deep, and we've made a large impact in the wrestling scene, especially when we looked at the card. Carlos Colon was there. That he considered the Bruno Sammartino of Puerto Rican wrestling, such a legend in the business. I was able to have a moment with him. I was coming out the bathroom, and his son was taking him And I stopped him quickly. I said, Señor, perdón, pero, gracias por todo que tú hiciste para toda la gente para lucha en la isla y aquí y en América. Which says, I want to thank you for everything you've done for the wrestling fans from the island to here in Americas. And he says, he says, thank you, gracias a ti, thank you very much. It was a beautiful thing. And my Spanish is okay. I can move in and out of Mexico if I have to. Like if I get lost, I know how to find my way home. I understand it more than I speak it. I started learning it more as I began into the workforce, especially where I work at now. I pick it up little by little. I've picked it up. But my grandparents, who basically raised me while my mother was working like 16, 18-hour shifts, they spoke to me in Spanish, but never asked for me to reply in Spanish. So whenever they spoke to me, I just understood what they were saying and never spoke. And a lot of New York Ricans are like that. I've even read Spanish. I could read Spanish for somewhat. I could read directions if I need to. But, it's slowly progressing. Right now I'm on Duolingo. I'm working on it little by little. I'm trying to continue my streaks on Duolingo. But yeah, I have to say that I felt a certain way that day for this event. And then like to see who was on the card, you had Amazing Red versus Santana. You had Homicide versus La Sombra. Primo and Epico going up against the main event. We had Tasha Steele and Mercedes Martinez. Then just to see the opening card with the 6-man tag and all facets of mostly Puerto Ricans were covered in that match. And then you had Charles Mason versus Dan Moff, which was a surprise match that occurred for many of us. It was such a it was a feeling. It was a vibe, a really good vibe, man. And just to feel that sense of the culture being there. And it was crazy too, because it was even more connecting, and there was such a sense of love because people who weren't Puerto Rican were there and showing mad love, wearing the LWO Puerto Rican shirts, representing, holding flags and such. It was beautiful sentiment to the island, the people, and how much people don't understand that we are American and as well as Latinos, not only in the sense of wrestling, but in every facet of what we do in and out of the culture and in business and in our professionalism, in helping to build a better society, a better culture. But it's such a, it made me feel really good, man. And like I said, I usually don't have a real strong sentiment for any of that stuff. But I do say that I am honored to say that I am Puerto Rican. Yo soy Boricua. And, pa lo sepa, Wepa. And, I've grown to enjoy a patela here and there and make a hell of a penny. I do that. But, shout out to those, to the fam out there in House of Glory Wrestling. Mike Santana presents, Puerto Rican Weekend. I believe it's on Thriller, Triller TV. I believe that it's on Triller TV, so you guys want to check it out. You'll find me. I'm by the ramp. You can't miss me. That's where we spot at. We're always up. We're always loaded up there. So yeah. Shout out to those guys. I mean, we're gonna have much more with that crew as well. We're gonna bring more of the talent on here as well, so we can share their thoughts about not only that event, but also what they got upcoming as well. Just going to do a quick synopsis of Battlegrounds. Most likely going to do a full recap on the live streams. Going to probably go on YouTube and such with Homework Mike, so we could go through that there and get his thoughts as well as your thoughts or what you thought about Battlegrounds as well. But just to go into it, we saw a package early on that Ethan Page got attacked while pulling up to the arena. There's also some change of plans. Bailey was supposed to be in the building as well, but she had to cancel because she was sick. And then yeah, we get the match that kicked off the night for the new women's North American title. We had a Sol Ruka, Lash Legend, Fallon Henley, Jada Parker, Mia Yim, and Kehlani Jordan square up for the new title in a ladder match. And surprisingly, I did not pick her to win this. And okay, I was fine with it. Kehlani Jordan gets the win here. Tough match. Lash Legend took a really, really tough bump after being tossed out of the ring onto a ladder. Hopefully she's all right. There's no reports of any injuries as of yet, but that was a real nasty bump. We saw Sol Ruka hit not once but twice. Her amazing finisher look. Mia Yim is often taking these wild ass bumps. She always looks like she's getting hurt out there. So Tien, Kehlani Jordan gets the win. Not a bad finish. I thought it was a really good match for that title and to kick off the night. We then get the Good Brothers, Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson versus Axiom and Nathan Frazier for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Fun match. I wouldn't have been upset if I would have seen the Good Brothers get the win here, but the team of Axiom and Frazier get the win. Fun back and forth. There was and it was I saw that it was mentioned as well on the socials that there were some issues that the talent had with the ring area, outside ring area, the mat area between. It was a little bit too thin to work with. It was tight, and talent had trouble with that. We kind of saw it in the triple threat match. I'll get to that in a second, but here there was a couple of spots here as well that it could have played a factor as well. But in the end, we get a retaining championship for the NXT titles. Next up for the triple threat match, Obafemi versus Wesley and Joe Coffey for the North American title. This was a banger. Obafemi, boy, like, woo, that man is going to be a problem, man. I'm talking about serious. Going to be a problem. Coffey looked great here, and a returning Wesley giving off those Vegeta Dragon Ball Z vibes. Had a really, really good showing here as well. But they definitely gonna make Obafemi a star here. Gallus tried to intervene in this match, but to no avail because Obafemi was able to handle that, and Wesley looked really, really good on his match here after coming back from a pretty serious injury, which could have been career ending. So congratulations to him for that as well. We then get for the women's NXT championship, Roxanne Perez versus Jordan Grace. Roxanne looked really sharp, on point. It's funny because she's one of those rare breeds that she can work either way as a heel or a face. And as the prodigy, as the heel here, she really worked it. So much so that the Will was even impressed by how she was able to come off as very cunty, I would say. Jordan Grace, of course, is going to be Jordan Grace. Tore out her earring during this match, and it was on Roxanne's thigh. Her mesh stockings, her net stockings for most of the match. You saw the blood in her ear and such. It was oof. But she's a G, right? We then get a interference and also a returning Dana, aka Ash of Elegance, makes a return. I'm like, okay. That was we knew that Jordan wasn't going to be able to win clean here. We knew something was gonna happen, and I'm hoping that this becomes more of a tangible when it comes to that possibility. You know, I've always said that TNA should have some kind of like a prohibited portal, as they're calling it now. But I want to see more of that. This is why I wouldn't be upset that if Ricochet left, he doesn't go to AEW. I would be more pleased to see him go to TNA because he would still have the opportunity to come back and have matches with WWE if the opportunity is there. So I wasn't mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that. And Roxanne Perez gets the win here. To close out the show, we get the Ethan Page versus Trick Williams for the NXT World title. And I got to say that Ethan Page for his first match here, look, both these men seemed a little bit off. The timing wasn't a bit on here, but I can't say too much of that being more of an Ethan Page thing because for me, I believe that Page still getting the kinks in, knowing the WWE style, but also he looked a little bit more in tune and in step of what was going on than Trick Williams here. Trick Williams is still, although he's a fan favorite, although he's got the charisma and it's working for him, he still is working through this timing, his pacing, and it's gonna take its time. I believe that there's a upswing for him. I believe there's a future for him, but it's gonna take time for him. Trick Williams gets the win here. Ethan Page got too much ego, trying to go head to head with the referee and took a finisher from Trick and took the L. And Trick Williams walks out your champ. Other than that, oh, sorry, I forgot. Shit, I kind of forgot, but didn't forget the underground match between Shayna Baszler and Lola Vice. Okay. First of all, Lola Vice, Jesus Christ. I'm slowly but surely, quickly but hastily, and very much in tune. And you know what? She's fucking bad. Jesus Christ, that woman is gorgeous. Oof. That's one. Number two, she's actually a pretty damn good work here as well. Her dancing with Shayna Baszler today on that show was, I believe this is probably one of the better underground matches that they've had. Maybe the best that they've had. To share that balance between MMA and wrestling, that throwing the hammer punches. They had to lay in there some shots. They did. And if you're gonna put this match together, you gotta be legit to show that you can shoot from time to time. And they did show some shots, some legit kicks. Laying in on the hold, showing certain releases, how to move from transitioning to another, the triangles, rear nakeds. Like you saw some good play with the MMA / pro wrestling match gimmick type. Very much impressed with that. I was very pleased that both of these women put together such a strong match. And I believe this is probably my match of the night because of how detailed and intricate they were with it. The referee was even playing more into the MMA style referee and such. The finish was even that as well, where, finishes happen like that at MMA style fights, that they come out of nowhere and all the opponent has to do is hit a flash knockdown. The person goes out and they just go on top and start pouncing, throwing punches, and the ref has to break it up. That is how it's supposed to go. And this was a fun match to watch, and I really enjoyed it. And congratulations to those two ladies for that match. It was fantastic. By the way, fucking Shayna's gear was awesome, bro. Especially like the blood looking on that shit was awesome. Other than that, guys, much to talk about this week. Got a new segment for the show. We're calling it Conversations with the Crowd. This is this segment where we want to have a conversation with the fans, the ones who are out there. They're not social media creators, content creators and such. They are the fans. They are the ones that are the being and essence of wrestling. And we want to have a conversation with them. So this week we have a conversation. We're bringing in an individual that we don't usually have on the show. It's sometimes that they shy away from the show, but we have a young lady. We have a female on the show. We have a woman on the show. Arianna Not the Grande stops in. Big wrestling fan since childhood, and we'll get to hear her side of what's going on with wrestling, as well as where did her beginning appreciation from wrestling, where it came from. So you don't want to miss that, and much more. And the much more is our guy, Ride or Die, Homicide. He makes a return. He's here to discuss his thoughts about what was the upcoming of the Puerto Rican weekend with House of Glory, and as well as his thoughts of because of him wrestling in Puerto Rico a few times as well. What's the culture like there? And the man's been calling out his retirement for a minute, but is that chapter coming to fruition? Is it going to happen? We'll discuss with him about what's upcoming for him and then what's his next step for transitioning. So don't go anywhere, guys. What's to talk about? And as always, check you guys in a sec.
This is the absolute Chris Cage, and you are listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
So, I wanted to reach out, and it's been a long time since I've gotten the female their insight on what's going on in wrestling. It's been some time that we haven't had the conversation, and I recently came across this young lady about a year ago at a wrestling event, and when she walked into the building, I said, either she's here for the beer or she's with one of the wrestlers, because you didn't look like anyone that was being, let's just say, the typical wrestling fan. You kind of stood out for me.
I see.
So, but then I noticed, I said, you came in with, as you guys label him, the nephew. Francisco was with you that day. And I was like, oh, she's a fan. She's into it. I said, okay. And knowing that we have mutual friends and such, I got to meet Arianna Not the Grande. And I was like, I've learned that you have a really deep history with your love of wrestling.
Absolutely, I do.
Wait, come on. Is it that we grew up, with a bunch of guys in the house? Were you a tomboy? Did you take your Barbies and throw them in a box and have them do like a steel cage match? What was the draw for you early on?
Okay, well, basically wrestling was always on in the house. My parents, they used to watch Lucha Libre from Mexico and Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. So that would be on the house TV whenever it was on the weekends. I also have an older brother who is about 8 years older than me, and he is a huge wrestling fan since he was a kid. So he was big on WWF. And then that would be on TV as well. And then as he got a little bit older and had a little money in his pocket, he started buying all of the wrestling magazines like Pro Wrestling Illustrated or any other publication. And I would just leaf through it. And that's how I started learning about all the different wrestlers, the territories, even wrestlers in Japan or Mexico, Canada. And I loved it. I loved watching it with him because he would get so into it. My mom and my dad would get into it. So like, how can you not get into it too? Right.
Right.
And it was just fun to watch. And as I started to grow a little older and started to understand how it worked like a story, it really intrigued me at that point.
Well, it's our version of a novela. That's basically
right.
What it is. It's
Exactly. Yeah, and believe me, I watched novelas with my mother too, but this was much more exciting.
Yeah. So since you had the older brother, were you his test subject for figure four leg locks and sharpshooters?
Oh my goodness, he put me in so many sharpshooters and figure fours. He would suplex me. He will put me in a camel clutch.
Did you know how to reverse or tap out?
I would try, but with the 8-year gauge gap, and if I'm like 9 and he's 16, 17, it wasn't that easy. He would he's a big dude. He would just powerhouse me, and like I would just tap out like.
So you was basically jobbing for him for the most time.
Pretty much, yeah. Until my mom would run in and start throwing the chancla and like, let her go.
But it's cool because you mentioned that you weren't just, it wasn't just WWF focused, that you realized that there were other territories, there were other places.
Yeah.
I had grown the same way. I found when I got into wrestling that there was a channel on one of the UHF stations. It was called U68. And during the day, during the time that they would play music videos, or they would do like these community board sessions and such. But between 6 and 8 o'clock, they would show wrestling, but they would show NWA, AWA, the WCW. And I was like, shit. And I was like, that was like my own private world. I was like, nobody knew about this.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
I found the same as well when I went into my local candy store when he had the magazines. He had the Pro Wrestling Insider and stuff like that, the Observers and all that stuff.
Yes.
And we got so knowing that WWF was the mainstay. I mean, when you were able to find out about the other territories, like who was the ones outside of the WWF world that captured your attention?
Oh wow! I mean, with WCW, it would be like Sting, Lex Luger, Ric Flair, Dusty, and I forget where he was working at the time, but Cactus Jack, Mick Foley.
Mm-hmm.
I would see pictures of him just bloody,
Right.
or in the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
And the Von Erichs, yeah, it was just like everywhere. I mean, just these magazines were just so in depth, and you're like, whoa, this is really much bigger than my little brain could anticipate at that time.
Right. Yeah, because we were accustomed to seeing the big body Hulk Hogan with his red and yellow,
right?
Andre,
yeah, exactly.
But you didn't know that they had the Rock and Roll Express somewhere else,
right?
When,
the Four Horsemen,
before the Legion of Doom, they were Road Warriors and such.
They were so cool to look at too. Like, whoa, these guys look scary, but awesome at the same time. Like, oh my god.
Is it almost like almost like a shock, or not even a shock, or even just more of a thing to where when you tell a guy or someone like, I'm a big wrestling fan, do they give you a look like, what?
Oh yeah, all the time. They're like, you're so pretty, or you're so feminine, and you like wrestling. Like, yeah, I do. And then I'll get the question, oh, is it because of the guys? That's just a small part of it. Is I'm not blind.
Right.
But for me, it's entertaining. It's fun.
Yeah, I watched it for the guys. I was more into the. Was the mic on? Did I say that out loud?
Now we know. Now we know.
Listen, there's nothing wrong with oiled up men who are half naked grabbing each other and trying to pin each other down and such.
I agree. I totally agree.
I remember going into watching wrestling and the pageantry, and like you said, even in Mexico and Puerto Rico, we saw the likes of like Mil Máscara, Silver King and all, and it was you go to Channel 47 and you were able to see like CMLL or AAA and stuff, and you were like, wow, it's huge, this is big,
it's a spectacle.
Yeah. And
they really treat it like that.
The pageantry, and you get the exoticos and all that stuff, and people don't understand how the different genres and stuff. What specific genre of wrestling did you grow up with that you began enjoying?
Oh gosh, I mean, I guess I would say at the time, like the technical wrestling, like the Bret Harts, the Mr. Perfects. That style of wrestling really caught my eye because it just seemed like, it was like a dance, but it was just so technical and so athletic to watch them do what they did on the mat. Yeah, that was definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I was more as much as I love tag team wrestling when I saw Rock and Roll, the Midnight Express, when the Hart Foundation, British Bulldogs. But I was really a heel guy. I just loved the guys talking shit. I always went into school and the guys were Hulk Hogan fans. I was like, fuck off, Piper and Macho Man all day. Fuck out of here.
Right.
Like what particular wrestler caught your eye early on?
Definitely Bret Hart. Because I did love the tag team wrestling style, because it was just seeing everybody work together. It was just so intriguing to see how it all came together in the ring with multiple people working. He definitely caught my eye early. Macho Man, obviously. Wow. Who else? I'm trying to think way back. Rick Rude.
Oh,
Rick
you
Rude.
dirty sweat
Oh my
hogs.
God. It's funny because now nephew has been watching some of the older stuff because I never really caught his eye.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I'm really starting to appreciate Rick Rude for who he was.
Yeah.
He was like, man, he could really, he'll send me promos that he'll find on like YouTube. And he's like, man, he was really laying into them with this. I know.
Yeah. And you tend to forget, like, the impact that guys like him, like even the way that Jake the Snake would lay into a promo and how like thought provoking he had when he came to his rivalries and such. When you get into that early generation of WWF, WCW, NWA style, then you're moving into the 90s and such. What was the gift and the curse of these things for you?
The gift and the curse. Wow. I mean, once the 90s hit, I started getting older.
Right.
So a lot of the stuff.
Did it change for you? Like, did you stop watching? Did you move away from it?
Later on, not as a kid, as an adult, but that's because life was, hitting me hard and certain things had to be prioritized above things like wrestling, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah. But in the 90s, I mean, I was just all in with it throughout middle school, high school, along with, classmates as well. I don't know, the blessing and the curse. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, because I try to play with that as well, because I got a certain age where I didn't stop watching it, but it wasn't consistent enough. Like, I'll miss a week or two and then find my way back. But I was also the type that still was into the magazines. But there was something that was I guess the pageantry was like gone for a little bit that during the 90s.
Right.
And I guess when the Attitude Era, WCW's Nitro kicked off for me is when I got right back into it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. When now we had the WCW. Did you watch the Battle of the Shows? Were you into the Nitros?
Yeah, we'd have one TV with Raw, the other TV with Nitro. My poor mother would be like, I can't even have space in this house, because I'd be in the living room, my brother would be in his room, and we'd be like, come here, go check this out. And there's one person running into one room, one person running into the other room. Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, please!
That was great.
This was the reason. This is the reason why I became a two TV guy in his place. I have to have two TVs everywhere because I had to juggle both.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't. And at the time, we didn't have social media to watch clips and rely on that.
Yeah.
To catch up, we had to literally watch live as it was happening.
Yeah. So when that transition was happening, you're watching the NWO, you're watching the emergence of Stone Cold. Mm-hmm. This was your time. Was there anything that came into play that stuck out for you? Like, since you're getting old and you're watching and you're still hanging on there by a little bit, was there who was captivating? Who was catching your eye during that era?
Oh man, I mean, Austin. Who wouldn't say Austin, right? The Rock. As soon as he turned heel, it was just like a wrap. he had it all sealed with that. Oh man, DX, and then with WCW, I mean, seeing Hall and Nash pop up over there out of nowhere that one day, that was mind blowing for me.
Mm-hmm.
That was mind blowing for me. I was like, oh my God, this is happening. And then I realized, okay, it wasn't really happening the way I thought it was. It's all part of their script. But in that moment, you think to yourself, oh my God, this is a crossover.
Yeah, it looked
good. Really
they did look good.
Yeah, he came in with the whole Razor Ramon gimmick still,
Yeah.
It was. But but they really, for as long as it lasted, they really did a great job with the NWO being what it was.
Yeah, because you've heard of during the time people leaving territories, going to other companies and promotions like that, but with them it was just different. The way that it happened when they came into the scene, it was like the outsiders, as they called themselves. It became just a movement where everybody's just started turning around. I was like, who's this promotion from down south? What's this going on?
Right.
But so you mentioned when The Rock turned, the DX and the emergence of Stone Cold and such. Hot time for wrestling for you guys in the household. That's where it turned up more.
It was definitely like on fire at that point. My brother would have little pay-per-view parties in the house and bring his friends over and order pizza, and we just sit in the living room on the floor and just watch everything and just have a blast. It was like a monthly thing. Well, at the time it wasn't monthly still. It was maybe every 4 or 5 months they would have a show.
Somewhat, and then depending if you counted like In Your House and all that, when that stuff was going on.
Yeah, we still watch that too. We'd watch it all as long as we could order it and have the money for it. We'd watch it,
Right. Well, what, you didn't get the hot box? Well, not everybody was into that.
Actually, we didn't have the hot box. I don't know why my brother did not.
Yeah. I'm not giving any praise to the illegalness, but I knew a person who knew a person. So through the Attitude Era, Nitro Era, we progress. We get into the 2000s. We kind of get into a lull because WCW's done, and you're getting older now. Like you said, life starts becoming reality. It's not like wrestling, but then we have an emergence of other companies that come into play. How early on were you with the Ring of Honors and the TNAs?
So we went to the first Ring of Honor show.
Oh, okay.
My brother, myself, my sister-in-law, and nephew was still in the womb, but he was there. I always tell him that, like, you were at the first show. Yeah. So we had already started going to like indie shows, like local, like USA Pro, ICW, other little small time shows that my brother would just find somehow, some way, and we'd troop it. So yeah, we were at the very first show, and then I started going on my own to Ring of Honor shows and to the indie shows. Once the baby was born, they couldn't really go anymore. So I would go with like coworkers that were big wrestling fans, and then I became friends with people on like the AOL chat rooms at the time, local people, and we just all meet up and go to all these shows, whether it was indie or WWE.
Yeah, that's one thing that knowing that much, as much of a fan that I am, or even was then, I never got into the group chat rooms for that, like the Yahoos. I don't know. It never got to me. And plus, like, I grew up with a family who ran a school in their own promotion. So I saw a lot of the guys pass through the way. Like, this is how I know Homicide for so many years. This is why I know of Red, Brian, and all those guys, because they've gone through through that school one way or another. They've used it, and later on down the line, you bump into like, oh shit, I remember this kid, and and they would do the block parties and set up the ring and shit like that. But when we got into the early days of Ring of Honors with the SATs, the Maximals, Low Key, and how there was the other option for wrestling. Was it more an eye-opening thing for you that it's not the big pageantry of the WWE, WWF, that this was something a little bit more different for you?
Yeah, in the beginning it was. When I first started going to those shows, I'm like, wow, this is really small. Like, we're in a gym, or we're in a firehouse, or some random building, and there's a ring and like 20 seats. But as I was, I would be like, this is not going to be a good show. But then they ended up being awesome shows. These kids were just putting it all out there.
Right.
And then sometimes you will see a legend pop up. You know, somebody that was in ECW that's now
you get the Greg the Hammer Valentine walking
yeah,
into
you
the
know,
ring.
but like even then, or even sometimes you'll see somebody who was released from WWE.
Right, you get a Sandman. You get somebody.
Yeah, you know, like we even went to a show and both Bret Hart and Rikishi were signing autographs at this show.
Wow.
So I got to meet Bret, and my sister-in-law, who was in love with Rikishi, got to meet Rikishi. And we were like, whoa, where did they come from? And how did they find out about this? We were in like Mount Vernon or something. Like, how did you find out about this? Like,
yeah,
it was awesome.
You just didn't know like the ins and outs of what really was going on, like the Carluzos or sitting there doing the signings and getting people around and such.
Yeah.
And you travel. You, like you said, you travel. You go, you find a way to get to places to go to the shows. Find a way.
Yeah. Like back then, you know, it was me and like my core group of friends. Two of them had cars. So we were able to go to like Philly. We were able to go to Boston, Long Island, parts of Jersey, even to like DC to watch shows. That was our weekends. Most young 20-something-year-old girls who were in the club, we were at wrestling shows.
Yeah, that shows dedication. Usually you were supposed to be like at 1018s or the catwalks or the I'm in Richfield. I'm in Richfield watching a wrestling event.
Yeah, exactly. And then like we would try to do the whole, let's go to a bar. And we'd be like, this sucks. This is boring. We're just standing around drinking and people are just standing around. Like, this isn't fun.
It's like,
I will go to a show next week.
It's like, that ICW is running a show. All right, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it would be. Literally, like, yo, you ready to go? Every weekend. My mother would be like, where are you going now? I'm like, don't worry about it. Bye. See you.
She couldn't tell with the wrestling T-shirt that you had on and like and all the whole regalia and all that.
Oh no, she knew, but she always questioned like, is she really going to wrestling shows or something else going on?
No,
like exactly what I'm doing.
Like I said, it's rare that you get usually when guys go to a wrestling show, it's not that they'll go and they'll fine. It's usually family orientated or a guy's bringing his girlfriend to hey, look what I'm into or whatever the case may be. But now that the game is different, the genre is so different these days that everybody's a fan and they come in masses on their own. They come as like you said, your girls are coming in a group now, and it's everybody's out there having a fun time. That the landscape has changed. What has been the big change that you recognize from like the early 2000s to like now?
Oh, definitely the way women are presented.
Mm.
I mean, geez, 20 years ago, it was like they were just meat on the screen, basically. And the few that could wrestle were still treated like meat.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And now you don't see that. You see the women actually, when they're outside of their gear, they're not really dressed all risque. They're not doing the bikini stuff anymore.
Right.
They're just like regular human beings wearing tops, pants, whatever the hell they want to wear is what they're wearing. And they're not sexualizing themselves. And even the ones today that may attempt to be a little more sexy still have dignity to themselves when they're out there. That to me is like the biggest change.
Yeah, shit. Some of these women look like they could kick my ass. I'm like, I ain't even gonna try. Like they legit. It's. I thought that was a great transition. It's along other days when we saw Medusa and Luna Vachon, Wendy Richter and Sherry and Bull Nakano, and nowadays they could look and say past, present, and future, like what women's wrestling now is just a true force of nature that's being taken serious now. And I love it because the ones who really get into them more are the kids. Like little boys love to see these women.
Oh, I know they do.
They love,
and it's like, and they're always so sweet with the kids. Like you see, like Natalia giving her glasses away, like what she used to do, and these kids are gonna fall in love with the girls.
Yeah, it's I'm always happy to see when like I tell people, especially now when I'm going to these shows and I'm bringing people over, when you're bringing them new to an event, they're not knowing, because a lot of times they'll sit there and be like, ain't that bootleg wrestling. Ain't no WWE shit. It's like, nah.
Yeah.
The indie wrestling is legit, bro. And they went in like, yo, what's the next one, fam? I'm coming to the next one.
I know. I laughed because the other day, an old friend of mine called me, and he dated briefly, and now we just been friends since. And he calls me, and he's like, "I noticed that you've been posting a lot of stuff from wrestling shows lately." And I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "But like, they look like little tiny shows." He's like, "I didn't know that there were like little things like that going on in the city." And I'm like, dude, where have you been?
Yeah, exactly.
Going on for decades.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I'm so happy because the New York City has gotten a boom again for indie wrestling.
Yeah.
It's back. Loud East, House of Glory, ICW, VXS. Like these, they're New York is making a scene again. WIN Win is hitting as well. Now you have options.
It's great. It's nostalgic for me because this is how it was 20 years ago. We're like, oh, where are we going this week? Which show should we pick? Do we stay in New York? Do we go out? Like, where do we go? Where do we go? Who's wrestling where? So we could, like, that was always it. Like, who's wrestling where? That's where we'll go.
Did you ever think about doing it yourself? Did you think about ever going in the ring, taking a bump?
Yeah, I remember somebody that used to work in USA Pro. For whatever I think he worked behind the scenes as well as he was like a character, an older man. He was like a manager, and he like fell in love with me and my brother. I don't know what it was, but he just adored us. Every time he would see us, he'd be like, "Oh, my favorite people, my favorite fans." And one day he approached me. He asked me, he's like, "You're young. I see how the boys here look at you." He's like, "Would you ever consider coming in maybe as a valet? And then if it's something that you're interested in doing, you can train and I thought about it and I'm like, that would be fun. But at the same time, like I said earlier, the way women were portrayed in that time, I knew it wasn't for me.
Yeah, I feel the same way because I didn't want to be treated that way as well. No.
Like a piece of meat.
Yeah, I didn't want to be like a piece of meat. I had a body like a Greek god, and it was like, I didn't want to just be looked at like that. No, I always said that I never wanted to take the bumps. Like I've hit the mat before. I've taken bumps. Like I said, when the neighborhood people would put up the rings, I would.
Yeah.
But I was like, are you kidding me? Like I would have like been a commentator, a ref, or a manager, such. But like to do that, no, hell no, please. Listen, I'll save that for the big boys. Let them earn the money for it. Fuck that.
Like I would have done it. But again, like I don't think I would have really made it far because of who I am as a human being. Like where my dignity stands and my boundaries are. Like I had a friend who went into it. She was training out on Long Island and she quit because she wasn't getting the attention because she wasn't the kind of woman that would put herself out there.
Right.
With, she wasn't a blonde or busty or, and she wasn't going to put herself at risk with getting things enhanced that she didn't want.
Right.
She was happy with how she looked, but she wasn't catching the eye of people and the other girls that were training that were more leaner, more muscular, more willing to dress a certain way. They were the ones getting the opportunities. So she quit.
Yes, the past couple of years, the landscape has changed somewhat more. Although there are some hiccups, there are some douchebags, slime balls that are still in the business. Oh, yeah. But they say that the landscape has changed for the better when it comes to women. I've always stood true with the feeling of women's wrestling is a novelty, but it's getting out of it. It's moving out of it in a larger scale now. When you see promotions like Shimmer, when you see all women's wrestling like WOW out there, it's not like the years ago with Glow and like
oh my gosh.
Do you remember Glow?
I do. I used to love watching it as a kid. But did you ever watch the Netflix series?
Yes, I did.
That was actually really fun. It was a fun show.
The gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
Yeah.
And I also appreciate what TNA did with the Knockouts division in the mid to late 2000s when 2010s when you saw like Gail Kim, Awesome Kong, Velvet Sky, and they were like really wanting to prove that they can wrestle and go out there and win.
Yeah, they really put their and to this day, I think that's still the best women's division out there.
Yeah, and we didn't have to worry about that pretty looking pink belt that WWE was walking around with.
That butterfly, my God,
that travesty. Oh,
I felt bad for women like Lita or Natalia or Beth Phoenix that had to wear that damn belt, especially Beth Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly. I saw her with Katie Lee in a ladder match at OVW. I saw a match that they was like the first women's ladder match that they did over there, and they killed it. It was like, and then to see her go to WWE and do this, it was like, Jesus Christ.
No,
but thankfully they're the ones that paved the way. They opened the doors for the Rhea Ripleys, the Charlottes, the Baileys, and such. So at 2024, when you're looking at past couple of years, I'll go side by side with the indies and the mainstream. What's been the high points with indie wrestling for the past couple of years?
Oh my gosh, definitely going to the HOG shows because they put on fantastic shows. They get great names to appear every month. That's been awesome. And also on a personal level, just getting to reconnect with people that I had been friends with within the indie scene that I hadn't seen in years.
Right.
That for me is always great.
Yeah. I had Brian on the other day, and shout out to HOG. They're running their Puerto Rican weekends. Mike Santana presents.
Will you be there?
Oh, please! I told him I'm going to. I said I'm trying to find me a guayabera. I gotta.
You gotta go. You probably go to the barrio and find one there.
I know. I need to get that or the that hat, the straw hat. I want to.
Oh yeah.
I tell him. I said, don't worry, I'll behave. And he goes, yo, really? The one time I knew I don't want you to behave. Now you gonna behave? I said, you're right. I'm gonna pull out my megaphone. I'm gonna show ass. But that's another thing too. You being also of Latin descent as well, to see how the Latin culture getting a rise, and low key, not many people know that certain people are Spanish in wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely correct. I mean, I know a lot of people like Karrion Kross is Puerto Rican. Like, yeah, he is.
Yeah, ran into him that day in Outlaw, and I was like, "Oye, mi gente, ¿qué pasó, Boricua?" He's like, "Hey, dude, I don't speak it."
Come on, dude.
I kind of know.
Grew up in New York at his age and not speak it.
He says, "I kind of know what you're saying." I did the same thing to Danny Garcia. He was on the show, and I'm like,
"Oh yeah,
what's up, Papa? Todo está bien?" And he's like, yeah, "I'm from Buffalo, dude." Like,
yeah, it's just a name.
Yeah, got it. But yeah, this upcoming Saturday is gonna be like, you guys are going?
Oh yeah.
Oh okay, because I was gonna say,
I'll be there.
It won't be a turn up.
Me and Christy will be there. Nephew won't make it. He has to work. I know. Unless he shows up somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, he kind of like flies by the seat of his pants sometimes. He'll just pop up on the whim.
Yeah.
Any special things that you guys have planned? Because I gotta go look for the red, white, and blue streamers. I gotta go find those.
Oh,
I told D, I said, listen, once your match is over, you come down the ramp where we always at, and I got a Corona for you. He's like, nah, I can't do Corona because that's that Mexican, So you know what? I said, you know what? Fine, I got you. I'm gonna get you the Bacardi. He goes, yeah, I got the Bacardi. Yeah.
Oh, what's that Puerto Rican beer? Oh, what's it called?
Medalla. They don't sell it there. They don't sell it there.
And then you can't even smuggle it in.
No. I told them, you know what? I might try.
We should probably tell Brian or Red, like, is there any way you guys could bring a case or two in?
Well, let me just bring in like one or two so that he could drink one right then on the ramp. we could do that.
you know.
But
hand it off to somebody. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know. I think I might be able to wield that. Let's just see what I can do.
That'd be cool.
Good idea.
A couple of those, you know.
and thankfully the start time is so fucking great at 5 p.m. It's awesome.
Yeah, you got the rest of the day.
It fits perfectly. So yeah, so with the landscape now with the main thing, you know, the main companies that are out, the AEWs, WWE, TNA is now looking to be on the peripheral again. What's been the highs and lows for you with that?
Oh wow! I mean, I definitely am happy to see options again.
Mm.
You know, I really did in the last couple of years got into AEW. A little late because I didn't know it existed. Because, like I said, you know, for a few years there, I kind of fell off with watching wrestling and didn't really get back into it until my nephew was a teenager.
Right.
You know, and he wanted to go to the house shows and whatnot. And I would take him, and then I'm like, all right, little by little. And with AEW, I discovered them when the company I worked for was owned by AT&T, and we were under Warner Media.
Oh, okay. And
whenever we would get newsletters, you know, for employees to read, and they would always throw these little things about AEW, and I'm like, what is this, like a group within the company? Like, and then they finally wrote All Elite Wrestling.
Oh, okay.
I was like, what is that? There was pictures of like Britt Baker, and it was like, yeah, it was the ladies of All Elite Wrestling. It was during Women's History Month.
Mm.
And they sent out this special newsletter, and they featured the women of AEW in this newsletter at work. And I'm like, what is this? So I thought it was just a women's wrestling promotion. Then Francisco filled me in, and he's like, oh yeah, they've been around for a couple of years now. And I'm like, oh. So I started checking it out, and I saw familiar faces. And then we started going to the live shows whenever they would come to the city. And I really enjoyed their product. Even when it has its moments where it's like, what is going on? I still enjoy it. It's fun.
Right.
You know, a lot of people criticize it, but for me, I've learned to like decompartmentalize different, like each promotion serves its purpose. Each genre of wrestling will serve its purpose. I'm not going to criticize one thing over the other, because if I'm watching a hardcore match, I know that's what I'm getting. I'm going to get a lot of blood. If I'm watching a flip-floppy match, I'm watching people fly, and I'm going to appreciate it for what it is.
Yeah, it's not like you run a podcast or anything like that. Like you have to like be opinionated and stuff.
Listen,
like that.
I could be critical of certain. There's some hardcore matches that I'm like, okay, this is a little too much. Like this is becoming just. Someone's gonna die here one day.
Oh, you talking about when the shards of glass fly into the crowd, like that?
Like when I last year we went to the GCW shows in Atlantic City. And just it was Mina. What was it? Mina versus Masha in this crazy match with scaffolds and cages and glass shards, and I was like, "What the hell is going on here?" And then, like the end of the match, you know, ended up being like a swerve, and everybody started throwing the bottles in the ring. I said, "Oh, we gotta go," because once the bottles run out, they're gonna start throwing chairs. We gotta go.
You see. I'm not a bottle thrower. I'll throw paper balls. That's fine. It's safe. No one's getting hurt. It's all right. Unless somebody gets a paper cut or it goes to somebody's eye. It's different. Not my fault. Different. But that's different. Right. But I throw paper balls. I'll sit there and boo. They're heels. They like that.
That's what they want.
Yeah, they're heat magnets. But yeah, exactly. It's truly the options are all there. Isn't it cool now that you could say that people that you know or people that you saw early on, that now they're on, you know, the big screen TV, and you'd be like, I know him. Like, I know her.
I love seeing like Jay Lethal, because I remember when he was just a kid.
Mm-hmm.
He was this sweet kid who was just coming up, and now I see him on like TV, or Mark Briscoe. Like I remember meeting them when they were just babies.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't even who they were today. Like they were just these two kids and their little, you know, wrestling unitards, bald-headed, very quiet, and they were the nicest kids. And then like I recircled years later, and I'm like, whoa, who are these guys? They're like gnarly looking now. What happened to his teeth? Where's Mark's teeth? And it's so great to see Mark, especially like doing his thing and being on TV. And it's a shame that it took his brother to die for it to happen for him.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, it's a blessing for him. They continue the legacy, you know?
Yeah, it's like when I look at like Private Party, when I saw those kids when they first started in House of Glory. Mark Quinn was one of my students when I worked in a high school. He was one of my students for a couple of months, and to see where he's at right now, it always brings me joy to know that these kids they stuck with it. They continued their passion. You know, it was there. The game could be devilish. The game could be cruel to you, man. But
absolutely,
when you reap the benefits and you get the best out of it, it makes everything happen.
Yeah, knowing they have that contract, even if they're not on TV for a couple of weeks, they have that contract.
Still got a little trouble.
They have that. They're there, you know. They don't have to worry about where they're going to do their next job, you know?
Yeah, and it's cool, like, when you see, like, guys like when the guys like Main Event or Charles Mason, like, those guys.
Oh, God, he's going to be something.
I said I have to do a segment just on him, and he might bash it, but it's like it gives a shit.
And he's so easy to hate.
Yes.
But you can't help but love it at the same time. You're like, he's so sick.
Motherfucker,
he's so depraved.
The motherfucker, I want his theme song, and I go look for it. Yeah, I try to find his theme song. You go look for it on YouTube. It plays the first couple of seconds, and then he rickrolls you. Cabrón.
Hysterical.
But yeah, I just have to say, like, I want to thank you because you get the like I said, not only the woman's side of wrestling, but a true wrestling fan's thought about what wrestling was and what it is now. And it's one of those moments and feelings in which nobody really understands, because like I said, we've been a secret society for so long, men, women, boys, girls. It's been such a long time that we've been shunned and considered foolish, but now we're cool. We could walk around with our Bullet Club shirts or our CM Punk. Oh, let me not mention Punk.
Well,
let me not
that's
mention
your
Punk.
buddy.
Let me not
That's
mention
your
Punk.
buddy.
I forgot about that. We'll have to rehash.
The one that shall not be named.
Yes. We shall rehash that down the line because I'd like to have you back on the show down the line if you like. And because I think it's cool to. Plus, I need that female demo. I need that listenership as well. But Arianna, Not the Grande, thanks again for your time.
Yes. Oh, thank you for inviting me. This was a pleasure.
And much love to the cats.
Absolutely.
Yeah, much love.
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't come out. She hears me talking and then she wants to be all up in the. Well, you know what? Maybe she knew I wasn't on camera. Who knows?
Oh, right. They know it's like, oh, she's not, no camera. No, I'm not showing off today.
That's it. I'll come here and be all up in the camera now.
Yeah. As long as it's not like Matt's cat. We had Matt's cat. The whole butt was on it. It was awkward.
Oh, she has her moments where she wants to show her booty off. And I'm like, girl.
but once again, thanks again for your time, man. And see you Saturday.
Absolutely.
And guys, don't go anywhere. Stick around. Much to talk about. Got our boy Notorious 187 kicking it in. And you guys are sharing a show. Yay.
Awesome. Diga.
See you guys.
The best.
See you guys in a sec. Thanks again.
This is Daniel Garcia, and you're listening to Turnbuckle Tabloid.
Good day, boys and girls. Once again, it's about that time to enjoy stories from your favorite wrestler and mine. He's funny, he's witty, he's charming, and he'll give you the stories that you'll love to sit back and listen to. It's Ride or Die with Homicide.
every time I get you on or something, it always reminds me of like Red's MTV Cribs episode. It always seems like there's something going on. Like we're gonna see you like ring the bell and shit, and like I don't know, the money's in the freaking the sneaker box. The sun's going down over there, bro.
That's not a bad idea.
And then as always, you're in the dungeon.
Yes.
Yeah, and usually the dungeon is bad when it comes to reception.
Very, but it's been good. So,
have you been getting your Wi-Fi on down there at least?
Sometimes.
We got a big year. What's going on over there, our boy Ray? What's going on, Ray? As you don't know, the man himself, the Notorious 187, he stops by. He comes in from time to time. He's like family. Once they smell pernil in the oven, they know that it's time to come over.
Oh yeah.
And so you give the cuerísimo. We get the cuero.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, speaking of which, it's a big weekend coming up, man. The House of Glory, you pulling up? Oh shit.
Yeah, man, I'm blessed, man. I'm so happy about thinking of me.
Nah, we had Brian on yesterday, and he was talking about how important you are to the culture and to wrestling, and you're the man who said that you retire at least 3 times a year. So,
oh yeah, I sound like Terry Funk. I'm like a Rican Terry Funk.
Yo, shit, yo. So my boy goes to Japan, right? So he's because I see the Ribera jacket in the back. So my boy goes to Japan, and I say, "Yo, go over there and see if you can buy me a jacket." He's like, "They don't sell it. They don't sell it to people." I said, "Yo, tell him I'm a former ECW hardcore champ. Tell him I need my jacket."
Yeah, they said that he had a count. I tell you, Mike, awesome. I like what's Mike the count.
When they blessed you with the Ribera jacket, was like. Well, how long ago was that? You got 2, right?
Yeah, I got a purple one and the black one, black and red.
All right. And
this time was my original. The first time I hired was 2003.
Damn.
And man, it's a trophy. A lot of people just wear it like Nike sneakers. Nah, man, it's a trophy. This jacket means a lot to me, man, because especially where I'm from. You know, going to another country and get something that I achieve, I prove. I work so hard. I still am. But I work so hard to get this jacket. So this jacket let me show this. Bless. Very happy, man. It's my
so was the purple one there?
Purple, I sold it.
Ah!
Yeah, it was the one of the homies. He went to Japan, he couldn't get it. So me, as a good-hearted person named Homicide, say, hey, man, it's all good. I got you one. It was a bright purple and gray.
Oh, so you did God's work for getting him a Ribera jacket?
Yeah, man, because to me, I feel, I got a good heart, man. I feel bad. And this guy was like kind of sad he couldn't get a trophy. I know how it feels. So I get mine. So I told her, here's mine. Just buy me beer.
So what happens? Like when you go, you get it. Do they automatically tell you, hey, go to Ribera's, they got something for you? Or do you guys just go and say, fuck it, we're going to go get something to eat? Because apparently it's not the greatest steak that they have over there at Ribera's. It's not really good, I've heard.
So I heard stories. I heard from Bruce Butler. He was the first person to introduce the steakhouse. Dude, every single wrestler they can name of been there. And I was with Big Japan Pro Wrestling at the time. And I told them, you got to go. So me and a bunch of homies, we went to, if not mistaken, Tokyo, Japan, or somewhere. I forgot. It's been a minute. But went to a spot. They saw me. Homicide. They call me Homicide. He said, Homicide, you work for Big Japan. I got a present for you. It was a wrap jacket and told me thank you for coming to our good country, work hard, and man, I was speechless, man, because they never give a present to a Puerto Rican kid from Brooklyn. So give me a present like that, man. Means a lot. I'm still shocked. It's been like 24 years, and I'm still amazed.
Yeah, listen, it's an accomplishment. Like you said, it's a trophy. I mean, honestly, shit. I think. Do you think that it's changed nowadays? Do you think that it's still an honor to get it, or it's just like one of those things that is just everybody seems to be getting one these days?
Oh man, great good question. I really feel it's like anybody could get it. It's it changed little by little. I guess like for myself, other people who know traditional wise to go to the country for the store, we know. But there's other people. Hey man, I like that jacket. Gotta get some. They be like, yo, give me like 40 pounds or 40 yens or something like. But yeah, it's changed. But certain people, they go over there and they get it like a trophy, like my case. So it's been real cool. But yeah, man, I think it changed.
Yeah, I see it even so like, and not to take anything away from a lot of these guys who putting their bodies on the line in there, but it's also almost an roundabout way. It's just like now it's just like, hey, you're in the business now. Here's a jacket.
Yeah, man, it's just to me that's corny. Man, I feel like anybody can get it. I feel like you bust your butt, you work hard, you go to the country, you pay the ways, you know your legacy, you know everything, and deserve to get one. But some people, it's like, whatever, man. It's like the way hip hop music is, it's garbage. So it's like a new generation of wrestling. Same thing like music, but not same way.
Yeah, but speaking of which, what are you listening to these days?
Wu-Tang, Nas, MOP. I still with my gritty old school, new school. Joe T's, Kendrick Lamar, man, Absol. I do be listening to a lot of guys from the West Coast, but for now, man, Wu-Tang, Nas, Biggie. That's my playlist.
Yeah. It's always been like, because I was just having this conversation this past couple of weeks about the whole tie-in with wrestling and hip-hop in this day and age. And then now a lot of the artists are coming out more, like these battle rappers, Charlie Clips, DNA. They're all into, the whole hip-hop shit. And sometimes, even their bars, it hits with wrestling references. And we'll be like, I know what the fuck he was saying. I get it. But you've always been in the pulse of the streets, always in the culture, and that it's been part of you for the longest.
All about like somebody told me, like I told that person, who you listen right now, Smith Wesson, Black Moon. They're like, who? Like, bro, you know nothing, bro. Because I still listen to the Bootcamp like Smith Wesson, Black Moon. How many MCs is my favorite song, bro, of all time?
Really? Yeah.
It's crazy. How many MCs, man? It's one of my favorites. I would say my top 3 favorites of all time.
Wow, that'd have been a cool song for you to come into. I know you use the truth, but
yeah, it's crazy because a lot of people say, why use Truth? He's from Philly. That's pretty single. I'm like, there was just one day in my school, it was 2002. He popped off and I said, I'm going to use this. Then after that, G Unit made a remix with that same beat. Then I went back to the single. Man, I keep changing my songs like my retirement. So,
it's like,
my boys Slick Wonder Brown told me that, man, keep to them because when they hear the song, they're going to know who you are. So I mixed it with the Ironside, with the Kill Bill, and mixed it up with the Truth. But they know that's Homicide. Yeah,
but that is kind of cool though. If you'd have had like the how many MCs or even what's the other one I Got You Open. That's my favorite Black Blues song.
You know what?
Don't
One
front,
of my favorite
you know,
songs
I
that
got
no one talks about is
Mm.
Peanuts, Rank to the Tech.
Oh,
Nobody talk about that song.
Psycho
That song
Lesson
is so
Juju.
underrated.
Yeah. They're you know, their other stuff, but they had Off the Hook. But that one, Reign of the Tech is when I pop the trunk, hit the deck.
Nah, bro, you already know what that means. That's on the East Coast of NWA, bro. It's mad hardcore, dude. Very underrated, and I'm surprised no one talks about it.
No, it's true though. I mean, my whole playlist is like ridiculous. It's about 90% is old school shit, honestly, because nowadays it's just it's not really anything out there for me.
Nah,
it's done.
You be like 3 bops and boom, that's it.
No, it's like I said, we've come for that older school, and now we seem like those viejos that's gonna be on the grass, like you'll get off my lawn type shit. Like,
I so believe that. I really do.
Speaking of which, but being the viejo, we coming out with a guayabera on Saturdays, pulling up for House of Glory's Puerto Rican celebration. We have the guayabera on, the old school, the poppy shirt.
I like it, dude. I told Mike Satana, I text him, just shoot. I told him I be wearing t-shirts when I wrestle. I be wearing. A lot of people don't know my background when it comes to t-shirts. I represent every culture, everything. But I do feel that this Saturday I'm going to have the best t-shirt, not only in the rest of the world, but all business. I want people to conversate. I'm gonna surprise you when you see. The only thing I would say, only cats like yourself, the new kids, they really don't know what it means. But the old cats, they'll be like, "Oh, I know what that means."
Oh, but, wait a minute. So you actually went into the vault and you pulled it out. You ready to put some shit together for this one?
Yeah, because it means a lot to me this Saturday. Number one, I started as the Land Terror. My first character that had a flag. I'm taking a sting, bullying, bro. It was so bad. And to me, it felt like the way I started back in 94. It goes way back. So it means a lot to me doing this show, being the venue, seeing everybody, Mercedes, Stills, of course, Satana, Red, of course. It means a lot to me, man.
Yeah, you got the colognes that's pulling up.
Yeah. Dude, like, seriously, Couch Cologne. Look, man, I know these gringos out there, they're mad about what happened in 1986. I don't know if you heard, sorry.
But give everybody else just a taste of what you're talking about.
Well, I told people that I was there at my mom. I called it Cologne, Bruce Birdie, Vader, that issue.
Right.
People say that Calite Colon, dude, to us, he's like God of the island. To me, he's like Jackie Robinson of baseball. That's the way he is. He's the way everybody talk about Pedro Morales. Let's talk about Calite Colon. He is the real rey, Puerto Rican, the king of Puerto Rico. And of course, something happened years ago where Bruce Birdie, who was one of my idols, you know, my teachers, Mandy Fernandez, they're like this. They were close. They said Carlos Colon got connected. Nobody doesn't know anything. You know, everybody go to the internet. It's about celebration, the culture, the people that came from the island. And like, we're bringing the culture back home. You know, dude, I'm speechless right now. Calite Colon is coming to New York City. Let's think about that for a moment. Calite Colon is coming to New York City.
Have you met him before or no?
Yeah, somebody one time. And bro, it was one of those like, how you doing, sir? Thank you for everything what you did. Hey, I
It's like it was like that. I remember the video that was going around when you spoke to Terry Funk on the phone.
Oh,
and he
yeah.
was like, I.
Yeah, man, because I'm a true scrub the game, man. And when I was a kid, I was watching Carlos Colon when he battles with Abdul the Butcher, Bruiser Buddy, Hercala, Chickasaw, man, list by list. And to us, Colon is like the GOD of lucha, of the Rican wrestling, you know. And I just came back from Puerto Rico for WWC. And to me, that was not a blessing because I grew up watching that.
Mhm.
And me being able to be in the ring, come on, man. It got real. It got real, man. Like, sometimes I'm a fan. It's all the times. I don't know. But I'm a pro. But, man, I'm a fan of the people that we grew up watching. And to me, like, Calita Clone is coming to New York City. All right, let's stop talking about what happened like about 40 years ago. You know, rest in peace, Bruce Birdie. But Calita Clone is coming to New York City this Saturday.
Yeah, that's good. That's big, man. That's huge.
He's bringing his family. Come on.
It's been the whole crew. Matthew Caraballo says, Homicide's the best in the business. My favorite, my idols, always gives the best feedback. Was honored to team with you back in March.
I gotta thank you so much. I'm very humble, man. To me, it's like, you know, when people say it's a my WrestleMania moment, man, screw WrestleMania. So, my moment to the guys that grew up watching me because I was their place back in the days. And that far, I was a fat kid with Timberlands, with black fatigues, with a Ricky shirt, makeup. I want to be somebody. And I feel I am. And I feel that these guys, kids, you know, they look up to me, and I'm like, why?
No, but you think about it, you're the modern day, you know, Carlos Colon now because
I never think that's too much. I love you, but that's too much.
No, you think about it, the opportunities you've given people, you know, there's doorways that certain people wouldn't have gotten, certain educations, getting under the homicide learning tree and such. You know, that's it's an honor to say that. I mean, you're a humble dude. We know that still, but still, come on, let's be for real. You paved the way for a lot of people, bro, man.
And to me, that's a moment. Like, there was a show that's on video. It was, and I'm mistaken, Loud East promotion. And I wrestled 3 other guys backstreets with me and Matthew's partners. And so the video, man, I was like, wow, I can't believe this. You know, but back in the days, people never give me a chance. I'm too small. I'm too hood. I'm too this. I'm too that. I'm okay. I'm going to change that. And I did. I'm happy. Right now, I'm going through a lot of personal health issues, but it's worth it. I can't front, man. To me, this is my moment. It's my wrestling moment. The day when I hate that word retire because I talk so much shit about retirement. So I'm going to do it very quietly, you know, and lead the game. But I'm very happy the cats, you know, in New York City, Tri-City area are doing their thing. I'm happy what Santana's doing to everybody. I'm very blessed. I'm very happy what people doing, man. Especially looking at me like, do you change the game? Culture, you the Barrino, the Godfather of New York City. No, I'm not, bro. I'm just a regular cat in your locker room. Or I just smoke and drink beer. The hell I saying, but I'm on
it's
man.
Like it's like a person. It's like respect to the craft says. You know, Theo Side is truly El Padrino and of the industry. You know, much respect always. It's listen, man. It's the blessings that you've given, man. And like you said, you put your body on the line for years, and you're feeling it now. Papi's feeling it now. He's
really
getting it now.
Man. But I'm very to me, I'm very happy about the guys that give me love, and of course, getting back up. I never thought 30 years of wrestling. I never thought I'd be here talking to you, doing the show Saturday. And God's giving much respect, man, love. But I saw you on this, saw you on that. Like, I gyrated. Like, but man, it's a very humble. I'm very, very happy and blessed about it.
It's a testament to you as well. Like, it's a body putting on the line. I was telling B yesterday when we were promoting the show that I said, you got him at the right time, because since he's been complaining about or just shouting out the fact that he's going to be retiring soon, like, you never know. He might put his boots down that day of the show. Like, you never know. It could happen.
Wow.
You can light up in the middle of the ring.
I do want to tell you something, and this is exclusive. Saturday will be my last show for House of Glory. And the reason why, because I messed up. I got bruised in my brain, my elbow, my knee, my whole right side. I wear glasses. I lost my glasses in Puerto Rico, so I don't get them. But I wear glasses. My speech is bad, and to me, that's what's the right word? Embarrassment. Like, I talk to people, and they be like, huh? And I'm like, oh, I hate that. I tell my wife, yo, I hate the way I talk. I hate doing Thank God I'm doing agents. That's my new thing.
Right.
To become a producer and agent. But I would say this, I would like to cut a promo, whatever you want to call it. Like, I heard I'm wrestling Uprising Sombra this Saturday. I would say, well, I don't beat you, then I'm done. Nah, but even though, man, I think I'm done, man, because I'm bad, bro. I'm real bad. I do got like maybe, I would say 10 months in my tank, if that makes sense. But, yeah, man, this Saturday might be my last. It's like, I talk so much shit. But let me tell you, I got mad love for people like yourself, Boo James, my students, just everybody who does that. Yeah, D, I heard that. You know what? Because I feel like I really care for me. Like, I really do. Like, even though it sounds very harsh, negative, I like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it feels like, man, I've been hearing that 5 years already. It's not going to happen. But I'm being real, man. I spoke to her wife. Though I got a 3-year-old daughter.
Yeah.
Like, that's big. And like, one time I saw a documentary about Ian Ryan, rest in peace, before he passed away. And something happened to his lower back, his spinal cord. And he couldn't walk. Yo, that really scared the shit out of me, bro. I really did. Like, back then, I don't care. Now I do.
I mean, listen. It's never forever door, especially in this business. But you've been able to muscle it out through and through. You're one of those guys that's always been consistent, and it's also one of those things to say, like, you know what, you know, as much as you've put your body on the line and put your time on the line for everybody, and you've gone out of your way for promotions whenever you had the opportunity, you would fly from one fucking place to another, drive from one place to another in short periods of time just to help them out. It's about time that, you know what, it's time to put it down and know when it is to ring the bell, man. It's time. It's good, man. It's good that you know and that you're away from it, that you call the shot and not the ring calls it.
Yeah, man. Like, I've been seeing TV stuff, WWE and all the wrestling. I don't get that call. I mean, I'm blessed with the NWA. I'm a producer, so I'm my own boss. And doing indies, that's where I'm from. I am independent, so I'm happy, man. Yo, I traveled. You're from Bullshit. I'm from Bed-Stuy. We like neighbors. I traveled to New Zealand, Japan, all of the like 4 or 5 continents. You know what I mean? Now I was in national TV. Man, it's good. I can't complain. I really can't.
Now listen, like it's like Matthew's saying here, you paved the way for us, and now it's our time. It's our turn to do it for the future, and it's true. Listen,
yeah, it's true.
New York was blessed to have you for over 30 years, man. You've been cracking ass for 30 fucking years, bro. And like Saturday is gonna be the fucking truth because it's if this is gonna be a swan song for HOG, I want to see you blow kisses, drink a Corona, and just get out there and just fucking tear it up. And you're gonna have some work in your hands, because Lasamba gonna give you that work.
As a matter of fact, two things. As a matter of fact, number one, you're gonna be around me because I want a shot. I'm gonna put it in the ring. You already know. And number two, Sombra, uprising, but he never faced Homicide.
True. That is true. But like I said, you're gonna get some work though, because he's been looking good lately. He has been looking good. Maybe this is the best time to get you when you're old man Logan and your wheel may be a little bit off. Maybe this might be the right time.
Yeah. I better tell people like don't sleep, man. I got people sleeping, don't sleep. You know, I'm not the same back in days, but I'm also smarter. So,
and listen, after your match, I'll be by the rampway. You walk past me, there'll be a Corona right there. You grab that motherfucker and you drink that bitch when you're walking out.
I need some Puerto Rican drink. No offense to Mexicanos. I need a Rican drink.
All right, so I'll get you a Bacardi or something.
There you go.
I'll get you a Bacardi. So I wanted because we didn't get to talk about this for some time, but I believe it was the ICW show. You open up the night. So I'm there. I had a couple of beers, and one of them was for you. I was actually gonna pass you one during the match to see if we go fuck around and you use it as a gimmick, right? So we're there. We're at the railing. Fucking D sees me. Homicide sees me there. Decides, wow, let me get this mark. Throws the wrestler into the gate, into the railing, knocks off all the beers. I'm going, no. I said, fuck. I said, cabrón, it's funny because one of them was yours. Yeah. Then what happens about 5 minutes later, he looks, throws the guy again. I said, what the fuck? And he's like, the Homicide goes, I don't know what's happening. I don't know. He's going that way. I don't know. But yeah, that night you missed out on the fucking beer, cabrón. That's all right. So no, then definitely will have the Bacardi waiting for you. So, this Saturday, like I said, it's gonna be a lot going down. Are you like? Is it like? You know, you just said you came back from Puerto Rico, and Puerto Rico is like a different like feeling and sensation when it comes to the fans. How are the fans in Puerto Rico with modern day wrestling now?
Well, at the time, still good. It's not like back in the days. We had like a hurricane, a flood kind of thing, so it was kind of like not too great for the island because we had a flood. So, but I would say that the fans, it depends who you are, man. It depends how you perform. If you perform for good, if you're that far, then you know what's up. But I think there is still little, not too many, not too much, because the modern day wrestling is different. But I would say they still got it.
Yeah, because we saw like last year when they were WWE was there for Backlash. And the whole Bad Bunny thing and all that crowd was like electric, bro.
Dude, I tell Kerry Boyne, who's like super gringo, like he is so cool though. But Kerry Boyne, I told him, when you hear the people go, fwa, you got, I've been hearing that. He ain't got it, but that will be next time.
So how's it like with that? Because like I said, it's and I even tell people who've been disconnected to wrestling or even trying to. I said if you want to get back to it, watch 2023's Backlash, Damian Priest versus Bad Bunny, because you get the whole feeling, the crowd, the just the energy from it. You know, that's where it's a good starting point to get that sense. Is it when you get that moment, when you have those in those times, when you're in Japan, when you're in Puerto Rico, how does that intensity like fire you up during the match? What goes on with that?
So it's crazy because you go to my Instagram, there's a picture that I took in Japan. So I took it. I was bleeding. I was doing hardcore stuff. It was me and Moxley against Desperado and Jukasai. So they called me in the moment. So for me, what happened is when I go out, I'm gonna hurt you. You're gonna work, you know. And afterwards, everything just shut down, and all the motions and man, I'm here. So in Japan, I did a show on July 4th of last year, Corner Hall, and they called me a moment. I was laid down, looking at the lights, bleeding and everything, and then I was like, I can't believe I'm here, man. Picking up first time come back in 24 years. And I went to New Japan at the time, the big Japan. And I'm not trying to diss them, but New Japan is bigger. And it was one of my dreams, my goals too. So going to New Japan at the Corner Hall,
Right.
they come in the right moment. And I tell people, number one, I'm in the main event. Number two, I'm teaming up with Moxley, John Moxley. The guy's like an ace. Not only wrestling, but all over the world. I guess Desperado. He's like the new ace in New Japan. And he's teaming up with Jukasai. Now, Jukasai, to me, is like Mick Foley of hardcore wrestling over in Japan. Now that is his first time in the ring in New Japan. Plus, we got a lot of reunion because the first time that I wrestled him was 24 years ago. So it was kind of like a high school kind of reunion. So there's a whole type of story in that match. The next day, July 5th, it was kind of funny. Now, July 5th was the main event. The next day, I was like number 2. But, there's big but. I teamed up. I'm sorry, I forgot his name. But I was saying, this kid is the next Kenta Kobashi. Who doesn't know Kenta Kobashi? He's like God. A wrestler.
Yeah, exactly.
But this kid, man, if you see the tape, New Japan Strong in Japan, July 5th, I was teaming up with this young boy. And this young boy, bro, he got a bright future. I already told him in the interview, he got a bright future. I'm happy I teamed with this guy. So the first night I was the main event. The second night I teamed up with a young boy who got a bright future because this guy will be the man in the next 10 years.
Who was it?
In the moment, bro. They call me in the moment. Go to my Instagram. If you see the picture, me laying down, I got people like trying to joke around. Oh, I'm seeing the lights. Yeah, I'm seeing lights, but they call me in the moment. So
yeah, I'm most likely it's going to be in a thumbnail for when the podcast come out. I'll use that picture for you. I'll get that one.
And Puerto Rico was the same thing, because Puerto Rico was different story. So it was my first time coming back from the island. The first time I got there was 2004. And I didn't see my family like 40 years, maybe 45 years. So I saw my family in Bayamon. My family is from Bayamon and Ponce.
Oh, okay.
Like, my grandmother, who lived in New York City and Bushwick, passed away, but was buried in Ponce. So to me, it was big because it was the first time I come back in years. Not only that, dude, I was watching WC when I was 5. I'm 47. I was watching that promotion when I was 5 years old. And I was there when Bruce Barty got murdered and by mom. And it's that, but not sure. That's from my family. I saw my grandma's grave. So it's big. It was big. It's huge. To today, I'm still saying it's huge. So that's why I'm like, I think I'm good. I think it's about that time to leave. Because I've been talking a lot of crap, but like, yo, man, I was burned out. I mean, I was so burned out. But now I'm having a health issue. Dude, if we be played the way I talk to you, that's part of my brain, bro. Good,
no, listen, you even got Paul D. Savage. He said, yo, I could listen to Homicide talk and tell stories all day. Hell yeah, shit. This is what where I want to have planned for the future once he's ready to finally put it down is like we finally gonna get Ride or Die story time with Homicide growing up and running. That's the show we're gonna have ready to go because I know he's got tales for days.
But yeah, Gilbert Puerto may be my two biggest accomplished. Like, I can't believe it. They come in the moment. So yeah, like in the beginning, I'm like, I'm about to hurt you. Then the emotions kick. This is gonna happen then and the Saturday. Because Saturday is it's not only March the 10th that present the Puerto Rican parade weekend from Hawk. Dude, it's everybody that I work for, people I mentor, the people, the fans. Carlita Colon is in the building. It's a lot. It's a lot. So I'm very happy about it.
And mind you, you've gotten a little bit more emotional and sensitive in your later years. I've seen you like been able to like maybe get close to tears a time or another. Close to. You've been there. You know, we get a little older. We get a little more connected with ourselves.
You know what it is like you just go to an airport and just travel. You'd be like, man, some other dudes should be in my shoes, but they can't because they're dealing with something personal. And I've been through a lot of personal shit, man. I'm very lucky. First, I'm lucky I'm still here. I'm still walking. I got a 3-year-old daughter. I got a son who's 26. I'm still alive. I'm still walking, even though it hurts. I'm talking to you. I'm gonna get crunked up Saturday for a perfect reason. Those kids, when I met them, but I grew up with them in the business. Like, to me, the rest of the business, like, when I'm here a long period of time, I grew up with Brian Red. I thought that was 98. I'm not mistaken. But they was fresh. So I kind of grew up watching them grow and become men and become businessmen. And I'm happy to be Santana, another guy. Bro, that's a crazy story when me and Mike Santana, the first time I met him. I can't say that on TV because I can't hate it.
Está sucio. It's sucio. You got a sucio story.
But, yo, the feds might come to your house. So,
you know what it is too? It's that like I said, these are guys that you've come up with. These are guys that you've broken bread with. You've got in the ring. You made money with. You've on the come up. And for this celebration that's happening this Saturday, culturally across the board, it's phenomenal. It's a great moment, man. And I'm glad. I was surprised. Because I know you've been busy. NWA, I've been seeing you've been doing a lot of good work over there. You've been cranking it out and stuff. And now with your CW deals and stuff like that, you got a lot of going on over there. So for you to pop up and do this show for HOG, I'm like, yeah, get in the building, yes. It's like, let's go.
Dude, to me, it's different. It's not about a regular day, a regular job, regular work. Nah, man, it means something. Sometimes I tell people, look, Mexicanos, my British, it's our turn now. We're going to show the world why we want the greatest culture and wrestling ever. There's a lot of Mexicanos out there. They're great, and they are phenomenal. Like Leo Santo, his father, me, Makara. We got Penta, Phoenix. They're awesome. Now it's about that time. We have Canta Colon. We have Hercules, back chicken sauce. Now I got myself. We got Santana. We got some guys that plays red. People be involved on the show. So we're going to show the world why we are number one. We are this culture ever.
We're going to show how like puro we are on Saturday. Now, listen, I'm bringing the megaphone. I'm like, oh yeah. You gotta get the cowbell and the guayo. You gotta get the whole thing going.
What's the name? That chacon.
We're gonna get the chancletas and all that shit. We're gonna pull it all out for that day. Any missed opportunities you had in wrestling, do you believe?
No, I think it did. Everything else, it's one of those. I wish. I don't know if it makes sense. Like I wish that wrestle and Mexico going for the WWE. I wish I had a contract for only wrestle people like maybe Willow Spray. Um, man, I'm good. I'm good because I did wrestle Willow Spray in New Japan.
Mm-hmm.
The greatest workers in this business. No, yeah, I'm more like the outlaw, the law of the underground. You know, I'm one of those guys.
Right.
Not too commercial with the corporations, but I'm good. You know, now I'm a producer for a company. It could be Billy Corgan. You know how people feels about his company. But do I grew up watching a company? Now I'm working a company. I'm telling people this is what you gotta do. Can't beat that.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's blessings, man. Because regardless of where, when it's gonna happen, you have been that guy who's not only just wrestled thousands upon thousands of people. Your dance card has been filled with many. And the one thing that always happens, even from guys who are in the top of the business now, and people who are coming up, they always say, Homicide is that dude, and much respect to him, man. And we're gonna do it up Saturday, bro. For real. We're gonna show ass on Saturday, definitely.
Very confident, man. It's gonna be great. Great night.
But gonna let you go because I know, gotta rub the body down, got that Ben Gay oil that you got. You gotta take you gotta
Yeah.
Got that cannabis oil that you gotta rub in certain areas. Man, go find your glasses, man. What's wrong with you leaving them in Puerto Rico? What's wrong with you, man?
And like I'm talking to somebody over to my church, and I don't know, like
okay.
Hello, hey man, I lost some glasses because the boss over there.
Nah, you know what you do? You go to Dollar General and you just go find the glasses section right there, and you put on the ones like that.
I did. Yo, my eyes messed up for wrestling, so I got the damage eye, whatever we call it. But yeah, I got away. So it sucks to be old.
All right, Bob. Listen, once again, thanks for your time, man. And D, we're gonna toast it up on Saturday, man. I just gotta figure out where you at on the card so that I know when when we can load up.
All right, put your phone on now, but text you, I'll let you know.
All right, bet. Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for checking in. And of course, our boy, the Notorious 187 Homicide is in the building. And definitely make sure you guys check in for Puerto Rican Weekend. Mike Santana presents. Yeah, the card is stacked. We're going to be packed up in the building. It's going to be litty. Come on now. It's going to be make sure you get your tickets on Saturday, June 8th, 2024. Bell time's at 5 p.m., which is amazing. It's a perfect time. 5 p.m. is great. He did the right thing. Tickets are still available. Make sure you can check them out at hogwrestling.net for your tickets, and it'll be on Thriller TV as well. So D, love you, my guy, and I'll let you later.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
Turnbuckle Tabloid.